line up and take the shot, won't you? Because you are going to want your free will taken. The mark is a genetic engineering weapon program where you willingly are told you're giving up your free will and join the matrix with a viral nanotech injection. I've known this for a long time, but it's totally clear now. That's what it is. But they're not the soft kill they try to do without you knowing, but there's some universal metaphysical law that when they really get ready to take your free will, you're going to have to give it up and decide to be a biological android. And that's the real mark of the beast. And that's why you can't repent and God can't take you back, because it literally is going to wipe your brain. Now, the spirit will still be there, but you're damned. You're cut off. Wow, I didn't mean to start preaching. I said I'd go to your calls, and got a lot of other news here. But the Sandusky thing, in closing, shows you how a whole institution with hundreds of people at the top could know that there was a whole pedophile charity going at one of the most prestigious universities in the country, churning out all the big pharma heads. You notice how all the Homeland Security heads and big pharma heads and FBI directors, it's all coming out of this school. Coming out of Harvard, coming out of Yale, coming out of the University of Texas, coming out of Berkeley. Wherever you've got the cream coming out, you better believe it isn't the cream. It's the pus of the pus, the demon of the demon, the rotten of the rotten. And then all these other people who knew what was going on and weren't into hurting kids, but they still became accomplices because they couldn't bring down the system. And the news is like, oh, too bad for Penn State. It's really hurting them and hurting enrollment. Oh, too bad. It's not about all the kids. It's not about people getting threatened and mysterious deaths of investigators. Oh, yeah, people were killed over this. It's not about that. No, it's about the stinking university and people that are alumni now that feel embarrassed that they're alumni of Penn State. You see, it's that spirit that allows this type of stuff to go on. I mean, if I was an assistant football coach and I walked into the showers and somebody had a little kid bent over, let me tell you something. The police aren't going to get called, and it's not because I'm macho or tough. I am going to stomp. I probably would have killed Jerry Sandusky. And, folks, I'm not bragging, but, I mean, you know, I'm just a regular man. I see something like that, I'm going to do something. That didn't talk, folks. I've put probably 20 people in the hospital. People that started fights with me. You start a fight with me, you're going to get a fight right back, 110%. And that doesn't mean people didn't start fights with me that whooped my butt. Doesn't mean I hadn't had broken legs and concussions and, you know, loose teeth and lips split and black eyes. I'm not here saying I'm the baddest guy on the block. I'll tell you right now, there are people out there that are animals that'll have your head bouncing off the concrete so fast you don't know how they're doing it. They can do backflips down the street. But I'll tell you right now, if I saw somebody doing something like that, I wouldn't be able to control myself. I'd come in there, and he'd turn around, I'd knock his nose right up into his brain, I'd slam him right in the eye, I'd grab him and start just slamming his head in there. And you know what? If I went to jail, that's just the way it is. It's a crime of passion. That's the type of attitude you have to have for these scum. Instead, the assistant coach comes in and goes and tells people, they're like, you better shut up about this, because they're a bunch of predators, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they are. All right, I'm going to shut up right there. I just see, I don't want to sit here and try to sound like Mr. Tough Guy. I start beating my chest like a gorilla. As soon as I start thinking about the scum out there, because I have children and they make me so angry. At an instinctive level, all I think is kill, 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 kill. You notice the system always tells those of us that aren't sickos that we need to sit down, shut up, and be passive so they can run around having their way with us. I'm tired of it. We've gotten to this point because we've let evil run wild and tell us to sit down and shut up. I've got all this other news on Condi Rice, the abortionist, the abortion supporter at the top of the list for Mitt Romney. And I've got all the clips of him saying how much he loves abortion. I mean, it's such a... And then Obama is saying Romney, Obama has his surrogate saying Obama, I said a Freudian slip. Obama is saying that Romney, his vice president, basically, if something happens with Obama, then there's the backup. I mean, literally, Mitt Romney is like his real vice president. That's how the New World Order works. He's just the guy in waiting right there. I had that epiphany last night that Mitt Romney is the real vice president. because they have to have two guys in an election in case something happens with Obama or some scandal they can't control. And Mitt Romney, I'll guarantee you, in their councils, and you know they're meeting privately, he is the vice president. Mitt Romney is the vice president during the election right now. So Vice President Romney, globalist elected, he's going, hey, this is over the top, saying I'm a criminal, saying I wasn't involved in Bain decisions once I left to run the Olympics in Salt Lake City in 99. You know, that's not right to say I'm a criminal and a felon, that I made these decisions and I lied about it to the SEC and others. And he's like, hey, be nice, because he won't even talk about Fast and Furious. He won't go after Obama on anything. And so he's saying, hey, you tell your surrogates, get off the vice president. I'm the vice president, Obama. You don't talk bad about your vice president, Obama. And then Condi Rice, it's so sick. I mean, this is a woman who Mayor Willie Brown called her and said, don't get on a plane to New York tomorrow morning. That's in the San Francisco Chronicle. She called him and said, don't fly, excuse me. Let's just go to your calls. I'm going to shut up now. Thomas in Mass, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, Alex, I'm going to try and be quick because I know you're trying to rifle through them. What happens when a collapse happens, either hyperinflationary or deflationary depression? What happens to those of us who have outstanding mortgages or loans? Do you pay it off in inflated dollars? What if you can't pay it off? And what implications does that have for those of us who are preparing to bug in? And I'll take my answer up the air.
Wow, that's an incredibly important question. Crystallize that. I mean, you're saying what happens when the collapse takes place? I mean, what do you... He's gone? I mean, what happens to people that decide to stay in their houses? The globalists won't go ahead with the total collapse unless they think we'll put up with it. And then they will. I mean, they could stage race riots. They could stage a nuke going off. I mean, they've got a lot of nasty cards in their hand. And you ask the question, and we've had all these experts on, like James Wesley Rawls and so many others. You know, what happens to you? What happens when the collapse takes place? It's happening slowly. As cities go bankrupt all over the country, as police get cut. One good thing is there's so many guns in the country, that's going to keep criminals from going too wild. You'll just see lots of reports of criminals getting shot, breaking in houses. That's now increasing right now. Now, I think because we've been here and others have been out there warning people ahead of time that's a whole area of discussion. I was just thinking this morning we need to get more guests on to focus for whole shows just on what a collapse will look like, the different types of collapses and how to deal with it. It's too big a question to answer in a short space. Ken in Michigan. Ken, you're on the air.
What do you say, Alex? Thanks for doing a great job. Alex, my question is to you. I'm a 68-year-old male. I come out of the MK Ultra program, and there's targeted individuals that they're using microwaves on us all over the United States, thousands of us. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, there's people that are mentally ill from the heavy metals and things. Most schizophrenia out there, they've found in major studies, is chemically based. Or you've got, not you, but people that have schizophrenia have Lyme's disease, and which is really just a weaponized tick-borne syphilis that gets into the brain, and then no one will treat you or tell you. They'll just say, oh, you're mentally ill. So there's a lot of mentally ill people out there, but there are real MK Ultra mind control programs. They even have shows on History Channel about that, where thousands of kids were running through Dr. Ewing Cameron's system. There was sexual abuse as well. And they would publicly, have admitted that they would basically erase their memories and create automatons. So I know that that's out there, sir. And I'm sorry that you've been going through that. Thank you for the call. They just gave us an article here. Hundreds of innocent people wrongly spied on by police. It wasn't wrongly spied on. They just do it. Let's go ahead and take another call. Fred in Canada, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Alex. Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Just want to let you know we got a lot of Jonesers up here, Canada. And I was just getting a little creeped out here because, you know, there's no mention of Canada or anything like that in all this. I can't help but feel like Austria in World War II, you know. But we've got a good prime minister here, I know, because I live in his riding. And he scrapped the gun registration. There was a gun registration. He got rid of it. So
yes, things have begun to reverse in Canada because the public has awoken to what's happening. And wherever good people take action, evil runs. But Canada basically is more and more under the SPP and also the Asia-Pacific Union. And so you're being integrated into a corporatist government. Your sovereignty is being eroded. But your sovereignty is already eroded because the Queen and her Director General is able to suspend your parliament whenever they don't do what they want. So you've got the Queen eroding your sovereignty, but Canada does have more sovereignty than it did in the past. And then you've also got Northcom trying to absorb your sovereignty. So that's basically what's happening with Canada. We talk quite a bit about Canada, but I mean, basically you're going under the same standardized global government. Whatever's happening in Australia is happening here. Whatever's happening in Canada is happening in England, Germany. I mean, it's a global standardized program. Different countries are further along at different levels. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear you, yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it sure does. Thank
you. Patrick, Elaine, Scott, Cindy, your calls are up next. For more than 6 years, I've talked on the air about creating Hank Williams Jr. He didn't apologize to Obama. So what if the NFL doesn't want him doing their theme song? There's going to be no country left if we don't stand up against this corrupt system and call it out, period.
He always wore his Sunday feathers and carried this old Black Hawk.
We're going to go back to your calls here in just a moment, and we have a special guest coming up at the start of the next hour, and we will continue also into the third hour with your Ask Alex questions. I think we're getting some good questions. One of the best sellers in the store is something that multiple experts separately told me was one of the best single supplements out there for detoxing, protecting your glands, your thyroid, making your skin healthier, your hair grow faster. Weldon Henson. I got to get him in there to talk about this. He started taking it, and his hair started growing faster. And spots where his hair was getting a little thin started coming in, and his nails started growing faster. And I've been taking it, and it is amazing. Motophyllin, discounted with a free citizen rule book, available at InfoWarsShop.com. It's pure brown seaweed extract. They get it off the coast of New Zealand, so nowhere near the radiation like a lot of other brands. It's available right now at InfoWarsShop.com. We also have The Greater Good, exposing the deadly vaccines, very professional film. And Joel Gilbert's Dreams of My Real Father, about the true roots of Obama. An incredible film, InfoWarsShop.com. And remember your purchases at the site. We also have the In the TSA shirt. The next time I fly, I'm going to videotape me wearing it and going through, and I hope they say something to me. In the TSA, available at InfoWarsShop.com. We have the best water filters out there with a 10% discount on all the water filter products with the promo code WATER at InfoWarsShop.com. We have the Life Straw, the best in the field system, the Pro Pure. It's all available at InfoWarsShop.com. Okay, let's go to your phone calls. Patrick in Oregon, thanks for holding her on the air, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, brother.
Good to hear from you.
Go ahead.
Hey, my question is, what I don't really understand is, I mean, I'm fully awake to what's been going on in the world for a long time. I've been listening to you for about 5 years, but I don't get why the Congress, senators, congressmen, governors in this country, where's all the good white hat guys, and why aren't more of them standing up?
Okay, well, first off, have you ever been around the Capitol or around those restaurants at night? I mean, we're talking about